Hi, welcome along to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith, and I've got my good friend Bez from the Happy Mondays on. How are you, Bez?
How do you, Steve? Yeah, very well, thank you. And how are you?
Yeah, good to see you, mate. I've got a photograph behind there from happier times in Newcastle. You've got the old Newcastle on your maracas, and we've had some good nights out up here in the past, mate. So it's great to see you, and you're looking fit and well. How's the whole COVID situation hit you?
Well, to be truthful, I've had a fantastic time because I live out in the sticks. I've got a bit of land. I've got all my pals with me. So, yeah, we've just been having... I've got the bar in the garden, DJ decks. We've got a bar on one side, decks on the other. So we kind of partied our way right through it all.
I didn't expect anything else.
And you know what? I thought, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to sort my life out a bit and stop drinking and carrying on like I do. And the exact opposite has happened. I've actually partied more than I normally do.
I didn't expect anything else, to be perfectly honest, mate. But you know, I mean, it's obviously hit our industry. I mean, I'm a promoter, as you know. You're you're in one of the biggest bands in the world. Suddenly we go from, you know, that merry-go-round of, you know, putting all these shows on and you know, entertaining people, and then suddenly having none of it. It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other downside of it. I'm also thinking that writing a letter to Boris, you know what I mean, and pointing out that, like what you said, is that no, and the fact that he's saying that it's incidental what we do and we should retrain and go and find ourselves other jobs. He said, well, actually, let's hold on, mate. He said, I've got work. I've had to cancel all my work now till January through no fault of my own. And you're telling me that now that they've ended the self-employed furlough and that, can't get that anymore. And they're telling you to go and sign on and retrain.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, there's no help for anyone in our industry, really. I mean, you know, the venue that you play in Newcastle, the O2 Academy, it's basically stood empty now since March. No shows whatsoever. Yet, you know, you have the Conservative Party health secretary and others are still allowed to go to the Royal Ballet.
Yeah. Oh, and guess what as well? The Houses of Parliament are still open, doing business at all hours. You know what I mean? But the worrying thing is whilst all this going on, they're getting this Britex deal through with a no-deal Britex. They're claiming sovereignty over the country. They're introducing all these draconian laws, and it starts to look a little bit like a dictatorship to me. And he said, and what I want to know is, how long's the plans for this COVID thing? It's doing the rounds. For most of us, it's for the majority of us, it's mild symptoms, nothing worse than a slight cold. For the unfortunate few, it is dangerous. It could actually kill you. So we should be like protecting them and letting the rest of us, you know, keep the economy going, keeping us all in work. You know, the job losses, austerity. We've just ended the austerity. We're going to go crashing right back into that. You know, so you know, it looks like a dark future for us all.
I mean, I've gone up and down with this and tried to work out what the hell we're doing, Bez. But you know, from my perspective, I didn't believe it was a flu from a bat in China. The more this goes on, I've often felt as if it is like a push for power. You know, you get called a nutter, but you've just pointed out there all of these laws. There's loads of laws getting put through now, which normally would have to go through Parliament, are now just getting pushed through. You know, and they're trying their best to, you know, as you say, I mean, it's like a dictatorship, isn't it? It's a strange time. I don't know where we're heading with this.
Yeah, well, it's kind of well, in a conspiracy sort of view, I think it's like a Knights Templar takeover. It's an exchange of power. I don't even think the Queen's safe on the throne. I think she's going to get removed as well, you know what I mean? And we're moving into this dictatorship. And they're purposely pushing for a no-deal Brit exit, you know what I mean? Because I've always said it, they're never intended to get a deal out of this Brit exit. It's always been to go out without a deal.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with, you know, with all this COVID, Brexit's gone on the back burner, but it's still very much a burning issue that has to be sorted out in this country.
It's not on the back burner, it's actually being negotiated, but we're not being told about it. It's still under negotiation, it's still being negotiated behind our backs and they're using the COVID thing for a bit of cover on it, so, you know, to hide the facts from us.
That's a great point, that, to be fair. A really, really good point. Let's just look at your career, and I will get a few questions off a few of the Newcastle fans on Twitter. We've got some bizarre ones already, but just tell us a little bit about the whole Happy Mondays, you know, the Happy Mondays band. I mean, how did you come to be a part of it?
Yeah, well, it was a happy accident, and I don't know if kids will watch, so it's true. They used the psychedelics one night. I was out with Sean, gone to watch the band support New Order. I think it was the Tune at the time. And Sean was that off his nut. He turned around and said to me, "Bez, you're going to have to come on stage with me and you know, to give him some moral support." And obviously I told him to fuck off and that. And then with a bit of goading, I ended up jumping on stage. And the thing I seen was a pair of maracas. I picked them up, started shaking them like mad and doing my mad dance, what I do. Well, the funny thing is, the next morning, some girl said to Sean, "Oh, that was nice of you. Let that kid on stage with special needs." So...
It got called Freaky Dancing, and of course there was that rumour, wasn't there, that the band's second single, Freaky Dancing, was supposed to be a tribute to you, but it wasn't, was it?
No.
I mean, you know, from your perspective, is there a name for the dancing that you do, or is that just the kind of dancing you do when, you know, you're out and about enjoying yourself?
Yeah, well, a lot of people do dance like that now, but at the time it was... I just used to copy the old 60s dancings, you know, when you used to see them clips of, you know, festivals from the 60s and they're all off their heads on acid. Yeah. I just stole it. I just stole my moves off them lot. So it was nothing new. I just stole them and recycled.
Were you surprised at the success of the band?
Well, we've never had great success. We've got a certain amount of popularity, but we never became a massive band. But we definitely are a cult band, though. You know what I mean? We've got a cult following, but we were never a worldwide massive. We're just mostly like local to the British Isles, really.
It's a success to last as long as you have, I think, and the music still be as relevant today as it was, you know, back in the 90s when you came to the forefront, and you were part of a big scene in Manchester, and at the centre of that was the Hacienda nightclub. What kind of memories have you got of that place?
Yeah, I've got great memories, you know what I mean? But also, I think that one of the best things what ever happened to the Hacienda was it closing down, because it put it into that legendary status, you know what I mean? So so the death of it was like the making of it as well.
Yeah.
Because like when it first opened, when we first started going in there, there's absolutely nobody in there, you know what I mean? The place was empty most of the time. And it weren't until the ecstasy explosion that things turned.
Yeah, drugs played a huge part in that scene, didn't they? I mean, when you look back at the, you know, the acid house parties and the music and the DJs, it was a special time. I've got to be honest. I feel, you know, lucky to have been through that kind of era and lived through that era.
Yeah, well, as kids growing up, we always longed for the to have that like the Summer of Love, you know, like the 1960s acid set. That was our dream, and we had our own version of it through the ecstasy explosion.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. We did. The you know, the band obviously.
But you know what the worrying thing is? I've since read that no, you thought you was rebelling, and actually it was part of the UK Ulster, the mind control program to get people taking drugs and dropping out as well. So when I read about that, I think, oh shit, you know what I mean? You think you're being a rebel, but actually you're just like conforming to an ideal. But I don't know if there's any truth in it, you know what I mean? But it's supposed to be part of all of it, a mind control program.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. How important is fashion to you, Bez?
Well, I've always, I'm not a massive like fashion man. I just, and it's these days, there ain't no fashion anymore. It's just no high street fashions in it. Everybody looks and dresses the same. So I don't think fashion's a thing anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, we wear what the high street dictates to. But as a kid growing up, we had all different sorts of things going on. Mostly through music. You know what I mean? And you could sell by the way you dressed, what music you was into. Like you had the Northern Soulers, you had your metal fans, you had your mods, your rockers, you had your Perry boys. So I'm just a high street kid these days, wearing high street fashions. I wish I could say I wasn't.
Looking back with the Mondays, what are your favourite memories from your time with the band?
I've got many good memories. Obviously, the first night I joined the Mondays, that was a night I'll never forget. Doing the Rock de Rio, that was great. We got put in a hotel with Guns N' Roses, away from the rest of the bands, because they thought it was really rock and roll. Too rock and roll to be mixing with everyone else. But we certainly put Guns N' Roses to shame with our antics anyway.
You obviously went out to Barbados to record the album Yes Please, and I mean, you know, not many bands get an opportunity to go across to such a place and record. What was it like out there?
Yeah, it was great. Well, the first day we got there, we got welcomed by all the leading dignitaries of the town, like the Lord Mayor, Chief of the Police. Everyone was welcomed us to the island and all that. And by the time we left, we knew everyone from the ministers right down to the crack dealers on the 6 roads. So yeah, we got to, because the island's on the size of Manchester, it's quite easy to get well known on there. But I think by the time we left there, the whole island was talking about us.
No surprise, it's the Happy Mondays effect. I thought that was a great album, and I've got to be perfectly honest, when you listen back to that now, it's very much like a stepping stone to the future, because I forgot that Kermit was actually on that song, Cut 'Em Loose Bruce, from the album.
Yeah, well, when the Mondays broke up, me and Sean was like really like begging the rest of the band, no, not to be stupid and stay with it, you know what I mean? And we really didn't want them to split up. And like you say, that album was a stepping stone to the future, with Kermit joining for the first time. But the album got slated because of the production style of the time. They wanted this modern production techniques like we did with Osborne and Oakenfold. But because Factory was in so much trouble at the time, because they'd moved from a bed sitting in Didsbury to this great big fancy building, what they spent fortunes of. They was desperate for the Mondays' next album to start bringing money back. So it was kind of a rush job. But when you listen back to that album, I really like the album and the production on it. And we got, of course, to work with Chris France and Tina Weymouth, Talking Heads. And I was huge fans of Talking Heads as a kid. So, yeah, so we got to meet some more of our heroes as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is well worth a revisit. Anybody watching, if they haven't listened to that for a while, and as I say, it was a big step in a different direction for Kermit, and obviously led to a really successful partnership a little bit later, which we'll talk about with Black Grape. I've got to mention 2016, the Happy Mondays won the Ivor Novello Inspiration Award, which I think again is something which it didn't get huge publicity up here, and it was something I stumbled across on the internet. But I think it shows that people still love the music after all these years, and that's what I was trying to get at before when I said about the following. But I think, probably it was down to being part of Factory Records and the stuff.
Yeah, because we was part of Factory Records with Tony Wilson and the whole history around Factory, and to be a part of that, come here. To be a part of that, it was the making of us, really. And that's why we have this legendary status now, is because of our involvement with Factory.
Do you think there'll ever be any new music from the Happy Mondays? I mean, there's been a bit with Black Grape, obviously with Sean, etc. But do you think there'll be some new music coming?
Well, at the moment, there's nothing. Sean's got a lot of stuff coming out. He's been working with Robbie Williams. And I listened to that chat the other night. Sounds really good. I think it might be a hit. He's done he's done something with Lee Scratch Perry, which I've not heard yet, but I'm a huge fan of Lee Scratch. So, but for the Mondays, there's nothing planned as just yet.
Do you think there'll be a time when you stop dancing, Bez, and you have to put down the maracas, or do you think you'll be doing this into your 80s?
I don't know. There'll probably be a day when I can't do it anymore. But it's too late for a career change for me at the moment, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm definitely not retraining for anything, that's for sure.
We obviously had a little bit of a political rant at the start of the broadcast, and politics is something that's close to your heart. You're very opinionated, and you stand up for what you believe in. And you did stand for the Salford Neckles area with your own political party, which was named the Reality Party. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, politically we did shit because nobody really got me politics because I'm a great believer. If we want true change, we've got to get rid of the banking system, you know what I mean, and the ruling elite who we don't vote for. No banking systems in private hands, and that's not just our banking system, it's a worldwide banking system. And what I was saying, everything should be free, and nobody got the idea of how everything can be free. But the fact is if everything was free, what you do, you'd end up contributing to live in this free society. So everybody would become a worthwhile member of society because you're contributing to your free way of life. And we get rid of the bankers, you know what I mean? Because so we get rid of money, we can't have real change. So nobody really got that because nothing ever costs money. All anything costs is manpower. So that idea went flying over everyone's heads. And also, I'd like to get rid of the Abrahamic religions as well, you know what I mean? Because that's never done mankind any good either. But anyway, that went down like fucking a lead weight, you know what I mean? So, but the main reason why I set the party up was about the fracking issue. And with that, we was really successful because we managed to from nobody knowing what fracking was, it was at the forefront of the campaign. I got to go on every TV show in the country. I've spread the word right across. Helped spread the word right across everywhere. So that way we've done it. But unfortunately for me, I'm thick as fuck, really, and that's never else. And I'm not very what's the word? Not Johannesburg, but I've never been good with words, you know what I mean? So that never helped out either.
All right, mate. Are you still interested in looking after bees? I remember that you went through a spell with
Yeah,
that.
I've got bees. Behave yourself, as we say around there. No, but
Yeah,
I've got bees everywhere. Yeah,
yeah.
I've got some in the garden there where I live. I've got
How did
some in
that?
the
How
roof.
did that start?
I just always wanted to do it because we've always had no honey's always been a part of since I was a kid with my granddad. He came back from the war with 2 tins of honey, and it's been a big part of my family life ever since. So
Yeah.
I just always fancy keeping bees.
You did Big Brother, and that's obviously gone now. It used to be something that was part of our life for over 20 years. But you went onto the celebrity version and you won it. What was the experience like?
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm glad I won it for one. But that just goes to show the fan base what the Happy Mondays also had, and also I protected Rocky's mum. You know what I mean? Jackie Stallone, who's just recently died. But everyone had turned on and it was sort of disgraceful. I couldn't sit there and take it. I thought that's fucking Rocky's man you're talking to like that. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking having it. And so I let everyone know that, you know, what I thought they would do were right. And that will be over to the Blue Rinse Brigade.
We've got a few questions in from Newcastle fans before I get a prediction off you for a game that's happening this weekend, which is, of course, Newcastle against Man United. The questions here are from Darren Shaughnessy. He says, what's the one thing in football today that twists his melons?
Yeah, well, you know what? To be truthful, I've stopped following. I've not watched football. I didn't even know the season had restarted. That's how much I don't watch it anymore. But well, I hope Solskjaer does well because it's from that period of United's greatest bit of history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but obviously I hate to upset all you Newcastle folk. But I'm hoping that United, as always, walks away with the picture. And that would be twisting your melons and not mine.
Neil says, ask Bez, would he appear on Strictly Come Dancing?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think that will ever happen. I'm too controversial of a figure for him.
Yeah, I could see you doing a little rumba like Bez. I think it'll be...
Yeah, but you know what? It'd be great to walk on stage, do the cha-cha or something like that.
It would be good. Well, I don't think it'll ever happen was the answer, Neil. Lisa's 8 says, what were Bez's favourite bars in Newcastle back in the day? We bumped into him and his mates in Tilly's bar when Black Grape were playing up here. Cracking group of lads.
Yeah, bloody hell. You know what? I can't even remember I can't remember most bars are going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they change names that often these days, you know what I mean? One minute they call one thing and next minute they have the name change.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Every time I go to Newcastle, the people of Newcastle make us feel so welcome. You know what I mean? We get well looked after, and it's always a great experience up there.
Had some great nights out with Fish Tams. Got to give Fish a mention.
Big shout out to Fish.
And the last time you came up as well, we had to get you a little bit of attendance on your back, didn't we? So a big shout out.
Bloody hell, I twisted me back, yeah. I wasn't twisting me melons, I was twisting me back that day.
big shout out to the physio that stepped in at the last minute, which was
she got me on stage that night.
Yeah, superb. Yeah. Spenny Mag says, who is Bez's favourite group at the moment? What kind of music are you listening to, Bez?
Yeah, well, I've been of course, I've recently joined the 21st century. I've got into Spotify.
Hey!
And because I used to always buy all my records and everything. Yeah. And it's amazing because I've got like the best record collection in the world now, thanks to Spotify. Yeah, it's just like blown my head away. I've got all these old albums from the past. new albums, you know what I mean? I've been listening to King Kurt. I'm onto all this new stuff as well because it's putting you on some weeds. So yeah, I've just become a massive Spotify fan. I can't imagine how I managed to live life before it came along.
I hope you've got Alan McGee's podcast and his stuff all bookmarked, have you?
Yeah, no, I actually watched it all before I came on the show with you.
Yeah, it's class. Anybody who hasn't seen Alan McGee stuff, and get him on Spotify. He's got some fantastic playlists, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
He's a top man. We did a great interview with him a couple of weeks ago as well.
Well, you know what? We've finally got a manager that we can trust, and he's from fucking Glasgow. Can you believe that?
Last question, Bez. I love this one. Martin Nesbitt says, where is the weirdest place Bez has woken up?
I've woken up in some strange places, I can tell you. But where's the weirdest one? God, I probably can't even remember the weirdest one. That's how. Yeah.
Well, I can tell. Go on.
I've woke up on people's front room floors with me where the fuck I am, and the tour bus has gone on without me.
I'll tell you what I did. I was roadieing for the farm in their very last tour. I went to the after show party, which was a house party. I ended up drinking red wine. I was only 18 years of age, and I woke up on a park bench in Birkenhead with 36 pence in my pocket. So that's my funny story.
Yeah. Never get on the bus to go off with the band. That's one thing you learn.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, mate. Okay, then you've said Newcastle against Man United this weekend. You hope Man United's going to win. Give us a scoreline. Give us a prediction, Bez.
Well, I reckon that I'm going to go for 2-1.
Okay.
But yeah, can I tell you one of my greatest days was? It was thanks to you playing for the United Selects 11 going for the Shearer Foundation.
It was fantastic, that, mate. Honestly, what a day! And I mean, hopefully we'll get back. Hopefully we'll get back to days like that again. You played really well that day. We raised £54,000.
I played football for 17 years, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks after that game. I was a cripple.
We'll give Jamie Coxon a last chance question here. He's which band would Bez currently love to dance for? If you weren't dancing for the Mondays, is there another band you would dance for?
Yeah, well, I unfortunately I would never dance for another band. You know what I mean? I dance to them, but never for them. I mean, Happy Monday and Happy Monday for life. You know what I mean? You can only do that once.
Top class. Bez, listen, love to you both down there and love to the family. Keep doing what you're doing, mate. And I'm looking forward to the day we can meet up and have a drink together and enjoy watching you dance on stage, mate. But listen, thanks for taking the time out. Love to the family. You take care, mate, and stay safe. All right, nice one, Steve, and same to you as well, mate. And the Top people man. In Newcastle. Top man. All right, mate. Ciao for now. Bye.